So what we're going to talk about this week is etiquette at car shows. Etiquette.
Oh, yeah.
At car shows. So I wrote this article, and then they said I was being a little harsh. I was being a little too ranty. Because I said the article might be better titled as How to Act in Public.
Well, there's some truth to that.
But I digress. And as my wife says, just because I think something is right or wrong doesn't make it so. So you can take this as one man's rant on a subject that should not have to be said, but we're going to say it anyway. And it's truly amazing is how many people don't. You go to a car show. We do a better job of it here than just about anywhere because we're focused on telling people the following. Don't touch the car. Don't put your kids up on the running board. Don't do any of that stuff. Don't let your kids run. We tell people ahead of time. And a lot of car shows, people just wander in. There's no list of things you can and can't do. Nobody's telling you what to do or not to do. But don't touch the damn car. Mm-hmm. It's somebody else's property. If you are interested in seeing under the engine compartment, then ask the owner if he's sitting there. Say, hey, would you mind showing me underneath the hood on this car? I'd really like to see it. I have one just like it, or I used to have one, and I'd really like to see the motor on it. And, more often than not, they'll be happy to accommodate you.
That might come, but you mentioned like going to the auto show because you can climb in and out of the car. So going to a dealer.
That's why
like a new car dealer or used car dealer.
Sure. When we go to the auto show, we are the only cars that are stanchioned off, us and the AACA, that are not allowed to be sat in and touched and all that good stuff. And so it's one of those things you can't hardly blame the public, the general public, for thinking any differently. Well, if I can get in the brand new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee, why can't I get in the old 57 Chevy, the old car?
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and the reason is because they don't belong to us. The manufacturers bring cars there to throw away.
I mean,
they
sell them as used afterwards. I mean,
I don't know, because the amount of damage that's done to these cars when they're at these shows. I've walked through on the last day, the Sunday at the end of a 10-day show.
They look beat up.
They look beat to heck.
Yeah, they know
the interiors. I mean, but it's part of doing business for them. With us, these are one of ones. These are masterpieces. These are irreplaceable sometimes, and so you don't have the same thing. So don't touch the car. And if it was your car, what would you want somebody to do or not to do? And that maybe is a better question or answer for this, is how would you like them to treat your car? Would you like them to sit all over it, put their kids on the hood, stand on the running board when it says no step, any of that?
Right.
So, don't open anything. Don't touch anything. Don't lean on the car. And one of the things we tell people when they bring their families here is don't let your kids run around in here because there's a lot of moving equipment. We're moving the stringo, we're moving the cars, and there's slick spots on the ground. It's inevitable that in a building with 900 and something cars, there's going to be maybe an oil spot or two in the building.
And I got to say, in some old cars, back in the day, they used metal bumpers that extended past the body, and they have sharp edges around here. There really are.
Right.
Yeah.
I banged my knee a few times.
You know what's interesting about car shows and auctions and all of that is that they give you a lanyard on a long string with a plastic and metal thing. So when you lean over to look at a car or look into the interior, guess what?
Yeah.
And this is not the consumer's fault. This is not the attendee's fault. This is the people that are giving you the lanyard.
Right,
it's like it's a bad idea. And some of them are heavy. I mean, they're big old.
But I saw your office. You have hundreds of lanyards hanging up, and it looks cool. It does look cool.
I have quite the collection of lanyards of
cool.
events that I've been to over the years, auctions, Concours d'Elegances, car shows, and I saved them all for whatever.
It's cool because it's a nice collection.
Yeah. And of course, my favorite is when you have stanchions or ropes up around the car. And you say to a guy, hey, would you mind not going in there? And he goes, no, I'm just going to see I just want a closer look. So the sign should have said, these stanchions are only for people that don't want a closer look. I just want a closer look, or I didn't realize what that was for. Now, listen, you're a 70-year-old man, and you tell me you don't know what a stanchion means? It means keep out. And if you want to see the car closer, we're more than happy to show it to you. You go up and see the nice girl up at the front. You tell her that you're interested in a car, the 67 Mustang, and lo and behold, she'll get one of our guys and they'll come help you. And even if you don't have any interest in buying it, we're happy to show it to you. but don't take it upon yourself to open the doors, because here's what guys do when they open the door. They'll open the door and then they'll realize they got to close it. But then they don't want to close it because it'll make too much noise. So they try to ease it closed, which is the worst thing you could do for a car, because it'll either put a dent in the car, or it won't close it, or it'll mess up the latch, or
kill the battery.
Or kill the battery. And you don't want to kill the battery. And so we want to get kids started in the hobby. We want to get kids involved in the hobby. But when you bring them, make sure that you've told them about things that they can and can't do. Make sure that you tell them not to touch or run or scream or just behave. We're going to start a kids club here.
Right.
And you're going to get a button. And no matter where you go, to a museum or to Classic Auto Mall or to a car show or to anywhere that you go around cars, you're a certified car kid.
Nice.
And hopefully each of the places that we do this will give them some kind of reward for being in the top 10 percentile of their.
That's nice. We should have a little treasure hunt for them to keep them busy while the parents are enjoying the walk through the mall. Like, find a red car, check it off. Depending on the age, make it age appropriate.
Yeah.
Find a fastback.
Because you could do that with the older kids.
Right.
And talk about getting them engaged, because we want them engaged, because otherwise, once our generation is gone, who's the car generation? Who's the next one coming?
There's a lot of talk that the younger generation don't appreciate the cars.
That is
don't
true.
covet the cars.
Well, how about antique furniture? There's a lot of antique furniture around this part of the world. And you talk to families and they say nobody in the family wants it.
There's a great meme on the internet of just a lady by her china cabinet. She goes, when I'm gone, this is all yours.
My wife's aunt has downsized a house, and we just gave it to Goodwill. You just all this
it's unbelievable.
Yadro stuff too, all that kind of
expensive stuff.
Nobody wants it.
Nobody cares. And the other thing to not do at a car show or a car dealership or a museum, don't loudly be the expert and tell everybody everything that's wrong with a car and how smart you are and how, this is wrong and that's no good and you don't know what you're doing.
Should have put an LS in it.
Yeah, that GTO emblem is painted on. It's a decal. It's not painted.
And you know what? Lead by example. Mom, dad, grandpa, uncle, whatever, significant other. Lead by example for your kids. I love the ones that walk in and put their hands behind their back. Yeah. They've just... Yeah. Either they've just been to prison or no. They put their hands behind the back, and it's a sign of respect for the facility to say that I understand that I'm not supposed to touch these cars, and I put my hands back here
in the pockets, whatever,
or in the pockets or whatever, just to show that I know how to act around here.
Yeah.
So we, like I said, let's get them involved. Let's get them interested in the hobby, but let's also make sure that they're doing it right.
Yes. Because
we see that happen all the time. I mean, you see people that are, that will just get in a car, even like in a parking lot at a restaurant.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine had one of those goofy Zimmers or one of the, looked like a Colonnade.
Neoclassic.
Yeah. And it had a convertible top, and he came out of a restaurant in Florida, and the guy was just sitting in there. And he goes, "Can I help you?" And the guy goes, "No, just checking out your car."
Oh, my God. That's an extreme situation. There was a guy here about a year ago, and I said, "You sitting in the car?" I go, "Can't sit in the car." He said, "Oh, I'm just comparing it to the other 10 I sat in." So I had missed him.
Way to go! Yeah. So
a little late on the policing there.
We do have cameras around here, and we will find you.
We'll hunt you down.
We've, knock on wood, we've had minimal damage done out of almost 6,000 cars we've consigned in here over the past 5.5 years. Hardly any theft at all. I mean, I'm not trying to jinx it, but we have had very minimal of that. People are most of the time, and I ran about this, and yes, I do, because it's important, but most people are very respectful of the cars and very, very respectful of the process and very respectful of our facility here, and realizing that it's not a bucket list place. Yes, we're happy for you to come here. We don't charge you an admission. We're happy for you to come see the cars, but just be respectful.
Sure. That's all we ask.
That's all we ask. Guy,
And your email address.
Yeah.
For the newsletter.
For the newsletter. Yes. That's once a month.
This has been the Classic Auto Mall Show with your host, Stewart Howden.